Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gardening for Better Health. This is Henry B. 723, and I wanted to come on and talk to you about something that is having an adverse effect on my garden, and it may be having an adverse effect on you too. The issue is Carpenter bees. I was in the garden last week and I was cleaning up around the beds. I had one of those large trash bags for garden waste, and I was cleaning up, putting things in there. And as I got finished, I was about to roll the bag up so that I could move it and throw it away. But when I started to roll the bag, I heard a noise inside the bag. I heard something go, eek, eek. So what is that? And I let the bag go, and where I rolled it started to come open, and this bee crawled out of the bag. Evidently, I had put it in there and didn't know that it was on something that was being put in the bag. But it actually made a squeak noise. And I said, since when do insects screech? And he came out of the bag and he sat on top of the bag, and he just sat there, and it looked at me, and it stood still as if to say, don't come back over to this bag, I'm gonna get you. So I looked at it and I said, well, I don't just have to be over here right now. And I left the bag right where it was sitting and retreated to the safety of my deck. That bag is still over there now. I haven't bothered it since, but I am going to have to eventually go deal with that bag and put it in the trash. But since that time, I have noticed that Carpenter bees have started to buzz around my deck. And my deck is wood. I was not really familiar with Carpenter bees up until now. I never had a problem with them. They look like giant bumblebees. The ones that are buzzing around here, their body is mostly black with a little bit of yellow on it. They're huge. They're bigger than a bumblebee. They're not afraid of people, which is something that is very unusual. And so I said, well, they're buzzing around here. I see an area in my deck eave back here where they're buzzing, and they will hover, and they're back and forth. And I said, I better research this because I don't know if this bites, if it stings, if it's poisonous or what. So during my research, I found out that Carpenter bees are not like regular bees. They don't make honey in hives. They don't have a hive. They usually are pretty solitary in terms of you'll find a male and a female, or maybe just a couple other bees, but they're not congregating in a hive like regular bees. They find wood. They like wooden decks. They like wooden fences, anything that's made out of wood. They will land on it. They will make a hole about like this, round hole, and they will burrow into that hole. And the female goes in that hole, and she deposits these little round clusters of pollen instead, and that's what's in there. And then she lays eggs on it, and she covers it up, the egg up, and then they put more and more and more in that hole that they have made. And the male bee guards the entrance. So oftentimes you will see a male carpenter bee hovering in an area. And I mean, when I say hover, I mean it's like they're standing guard, and they're looking to see who's going to approach that spot, and they will stare you down and do a standoff. So I said, this is not good. I did find out that they normally don't sting. It says that the male cannot sting, but the female can. But only when the female is cornered will it actually get aggressive and sting. The male is the more aggressive in terms of keeping people away from where that hole is. So I said, this is not good. I called a friend of mine that lives not too far away, and she said she had a problem with Carpenter Bees too at her place. And I said, well, what did you do? She said, well, I found this company that makes Carpenter Bee traps. And it works. She said at first she didn't have anything in her trap, but after a few days, one of them went in the trap and couldn't get out and died. And once that one went in there and died, the other ones could smell the pheromones of the one that was in there. And then they started to come. And she said now she has quite a few carcasses in her trap. And she can empty the trap when it gets to be too many in there. I said, well, what is the name of this trap? Because I need one. And she told me the name of it, and I did get one. And it's called Best Bee Trap. I found it on Amazon. And it was only like $20. And so I bought two. This is my second one. I hung the first one yesterday. And so I'm going to take you over and show you where I hung it. And we will see what the progress is. So I'm going to take you with me over to where it is. And it is hanging here. And maybe we'll see Carpenter Bees while we're over here. So I'm going to turn around. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Let's see. There it is. It almost looks like a little birdhouse up there, but it's not. And I have it hanging on a fixture, so the wind is moving it around a little bit. That clear portion at the bottom, you see the little holes. The bees can go in the holes in the wood and get trapped, and then they're supposed to be stuck in that clear bottom. So right now it doesn't look as though there's anything in there, and we'll see if anything gets trapped in there, and hopefully I'll be able to get rid of some of these Carpenter Bees. But they are not fun to have. They are not fun to have. So I'm gonna wait just a second to see if any actually show up while we're filming. But they were buzzing around here like nobody's business. And like I said, there's nothing in there now. So I'm hoping that this bee trap works as well as my friend told me that it does, because I don't like those Carpenter Bees. I hate to kill pollinators because they do pollinate your vegetables, but the aggressiveness is just unacceptable of those males. I do not like being stared down, and especially by a bee. So he's got to go. This is my yard, not theirs, even though they don't appear to know that. So if you have Carpenter Bees, do make sure that you do something about them, because they will burrow into your wood and ruin your deck. And that's not a good thing. You can plug the holes once you get rid of them, because I have read that they will come back to the same spot year after year and reoccupy those holes that they put into your wood. So because they do come back, I do recommend you do something about them right away if you have them. plug those holes and keep an eye out. They're usually most active during April, May, and June, but they will stick around through September if you allow them to do that. So if you have carpenter bees, go check your deck, go check your fences, go check anything wood around your house and look for them. And if you find them, you do need to do something to get rid of them because they are destructive to your property. So this is Henry B 723. I hope that you found this information helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.